All aboard, welcome aboard, and welcome back. It's How Not to Game with Kelly Jack. I'm Kelly Jack, and we are in episode 33 in the Simutrans sessions known as the Devil's Towers 1969 Max Chaos game. And as you can see, the chaos is pretty real, especially when you get to some of these areas where there's all sorts of messes. A lot of my cities are getting rail bound, especially Brenton. Brenton's so tied up in rail that I'm going to have to break the rules of the game and let it have some breathing room somehow or another. I think what I'm going to do is abandon the dispatch yard here and move it to a different location, which of course will goof everything up unless I maintain connections to these three lines by doing it. Gonna be tough. Best I could do is move it to here and then let it have this section. But we're still, we're still talking about a really bad setup here. And I am to the point of no longer liking certain types of rail. And I think I'm going to see if I can reduce my rail costs by going from the kind that goes normally, because this is killing me here. That one there, and then of course the big one, which is over at the Tri-Cities one, the Pineville Loop one, where I have huge sections out in the country that I'm going to standard rails. I'm sorry, it's just I cannot take the cost losses that are occurring when you add in everything, because this has become just brutal. For this setup. And I do mean brutal. It is 30 grand worth of brutal in the hole every time I turn around. So I'm having to reduce that. And I think this is the last stretch that's really going to cause a problem. There we go. It might slow me down, but you know what? I really hate to say this. I really just cannot afford to have that high end. Let's see, that's $40 a month per tile for that rail. I mean, even this would be better at 20. And I can always upgrade to that to get the speed back. But I just have to save some money somewhere. Let's let it fast forward a month or two. And we've got to see what my maintenance costs in Trolley is going to do. Oops, tram. Much better. That halved it. Op costs are still killing me, because those things do just constantly run. We may need to go into the Trolley settings The polybunzine's now making money. That's because I've got a stop time on it. It's got a timer stop on it. Okay. The Ashstead is another loop. Let's go out there. Yeah, the Ashstead's another loop, but he doesn't have much outside of town. And I had already fixed him to an extent, yeah. So the Ashstead town trolley, which is the one that just does this loop, and then there's the main one, which floats in and then cuts back out. So the Intercity and the Ashstead are where I'm losing money, and it's, I think the best thing I can do here is to think about dislocating some of the buses that go the same direction off those lines and just basically say either every other stop or every third stop on the way back out instead of every stop, because the buses then pick up what should have been on the trolley. I don't mind this way I'm hitting everyone. And I don't mind like that. Because like I say, that's, it going into town from outside of town. So he's dumping, he's going the opposite direction. That makes sense. And I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm only going to let him touch this one and come straight on out, touch this one. And that way, he can just go boom, boom, boom. And that should grow it. And by doing a loop here, let's see what we can do here. Connect in the road. Connect in the road. Put a bus stop out there. Which bus are you again? Oops. There we go. Main drag. Okay, let's go to the main drag and fix main drag for a while. So main drag schedule. And we need to turn stop names back on so that I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So it starts here. We're going to take out that one. And then between inner and that, we're going to revert changes. First things first. So we're going to take out this stop. Between inner and main, we're going to add a stop or insert a stop. Now I don't mind it as much. That one actually makes sense. Most of my bus routes do make sense once I take a peek at them. All right. No, that was 10 minutes wasted time. But we've cut a chunk off, and hopefully that'll start. Because I mean, we're in June, and for the year, we've only got 15,000. There's an issue here, and part of it is, yeah, things aren't rolling. Part of it is this monstrosity here. I mean, if we look at our finances, what's killing us the most yearly? Monthly. Let's just do monthly. On a month power, the power lines, op profits 4,900 in the hole. Other, you know, nothing I can control about my signals and my depots and such. That's kind of stuck with. Airline, my maintenance cost, the op costs aren't killing me as bad. So as long as the planes ain't flying, and I've only got the one plane, so it's kind of a useless thing right now, and I might just remove the airline. Then again, leave it in, let it suck. 10 to 23, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's nothing compared to the tram, which was doing a total loss of 353,000. It's going to be down around 200 now because we have effectively cut our monthly from 45.20 to 41.20. So now it's just down to the op costs, and I've got to figure out a way to. The loops, you're kind of stuck with running the loop, and I might have to see if there's how many trams are on each loop. The intercity triple's the one that I'm worried about. He does have 3 trams out there. That's kind of overkill. So what we're going to do is we're going to retire this tram when he unloads. We can't get the Autocar GT6 anymore anyway, I don't think. So this is going to be one to cut that cost a little bit. That'll slow it down, throw those passengers onto the other 2 trams, which are trolleys, which will get it going a little bit better. Sorry, I'm an American. I call them trolleys. I know nobody else calls them trams. Looking around, our mess is just getting there. It's starting to definitely too much in close. I need to take and pull things out away from the cities a little bit more and allow it or give more gap in between them around the cities because it kills whole regions. Like this area is not growing. Come over to Brenton, and that's the big issue is how do I tie back into Brenton? I could move everything over to here and still be able to tie into this line through across, and then pull this guy over here for a shorter, faster, and eliminate that big bridge. But again, we want the chaos, so chaos is good. What else can we do here? Power-wise, we're holding up pretty good. It looks like the power generation grid is constantly fluxing. About 7,000 a month. We're not after maintenance, we're after earnings here. The problem is, maintenance is the high end part. So we need to get another close in power plant that we can tie in and carry more juice yet. As well as get some of the bigger things like the car plant, because the car plant eats a lot of juice. I mean, its request is 52. That's not a ton compared to, like, say, the real oil fields, which take 84. So getting to the oil fields next is probably, and the refinery. Refinery is another big 129, yeah. So I could tie into the refinery. And that's actually a short run, and that would get me one other oil field plus the extraneous stuff along the way. Figuring out a path is going to be the fun part here. I think I see it. Let's tie into that. Make certain there's not a quicker way. There's not. So we're going to come from like this to a jog like this. We're going to need to do some groundwork here and here. Okay. That gets me to that point. Now I need a slope work to get it down. Come across, come across. Hey, what do you know? Ka-ching. Now we just need to do 2 quick fills, drop in the transformer, and hook in. And there's going to be some chunks of juice every time it flashes. Now, of course, looking at it in, we probably taxed out the system. There it goes. And let's see if that upped our electrical a ton. Peak electrical draw so far has been $8,400. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us the number of units you've drawn. That's one thing I wish we could get. I think there is a way to get that, though. Demand is supplying about 50%, so we need to get some power units in. And I think I've tied in all my power units now. Yeah, everybody's all tied in. So we are kind of toasty as far as that goes. Yep, everybody's all tied in together. We can save a little bit of money out here, though. Let's get rid of some of this excess wire. There we go. Could even go this way with some of them. It just comes down to whether or not I want to do the savings or what. And right now, I don't mind taking out dead wire because we're hurting too much. Now we're up to about 104,000 for the year. That's looking much better. Looking at power. Power for the month is 7,000. So it was up a hair. That got us 19 more dollars just in those last few days of June. Looking at tram and airline. The trams are making money. It's just they're not making enough money with the offsets they got. So, if you have a $10,000 layout, yeah, but your op costs were 29,000. Now, I don't know what that's going to be this month now that I've taken out. This is the slight changes we did, so hopefully that will take down some changes. But the problem is we're running on slower rail. And we can fix that though. That's easy fix. Easy fix. Matter of fact, we can do a big chunk of it right here on this guy. Getting him back into the proper type. Over here is where it gets tough. There we go. It's not as tough as I thought it was going to be. All right. And that has us back up to speed. Unfortunately, these two guys are too bunched up. We're going to have to figure out an unbunching trick down the road. Do a slight bit of fix work, and I'm going to let you guys go. This has been How Not to Game with Callie Jack. I'm Callie Jack, your host, and episode 33 now in the bank. Don't know when it'll post. Don't know if it'll post on Saturday. I do know I'm running into upload limits, so I must have been a little bit excessive yesterday, and they slapped my wrist today. But hey, I can't complain. I mean, after all, I don't think anything can take and make my world ruined just because upload limits serious. If you're letting that determine you, then it's time to take and wake up. So, y'all have a great day. Have a better day than I'm having.